Hello students, now we will look on continued part of virtual memory management. These are the different stages involved in demand paging in case of worst case. Yeah, just look into these stages. First, as there is no availability of memory, that page is not available on the main memory, it is trapping the error to the OS. The user register, it has to leave the instruction execution for time being. For that, it has to store the status of the ongoing instruction. So it has to store the user register and store the process state. Determine that the interrupt was a page fault. It has to be indicated as a interrupt is because of page fault. Check that the page reference was legal and determine the location of the page on the disk. Issue a read from the disk to preframe. Wait in a queue for the device until the read request is serviced. Wait for the device seek and or latency time. Begin the transfer of the page to a preframe. While waiting, it can allocate the CPU to some other user also because you are under waiting. So receive an interrupt from disk IO subsystem that it has completed the task of bringing in the page. Save the registers state and process state back to the original. Determine that the interrupt was from the disk itself because it has completed the task of bringing in the page. Correct the page table because you have got the page. Now you have to update the page table also, that I bit has to set back to V and show that the page is now available in the memory. Wait for the CPU to be allocated because meanwhile you are waiting for that particular page which is not in main memory. You were under waiting. So after that the CPU has to come back to you, right? So restore the user register, process state and new page table, and then you can resume the instruction executions. These are all the different stages that takes place in worst case when you are not finding the page required by you is available on the main memory, rather it is on the reserved storage, and when it is brought in, these are all the different stages it has to go through. Yeah, we'll see the performance of demand paging. Service the interrupt is one of the major activity. Read the page because it has to be brought in. Restart the process. Again, just a small amount of time is required here. So this is the additional overhead that is affecting the performance of the demand paging. So these are the three major activities. Among those 12 different stages, we are finding these are the three major activities which are hindering the performance of the demand paging. So page fault I have explained you already. That is, your user or a particular program has ongoing process has requested a page and that is not available on the main memory. That we call as a page fault. The page fault rate is number of times the page fault happens in particular unit of time. So it is usually lying between 0 to 1. 0 in the sense there is no page fault happened, that is already there in the memory. P equal to 1 is for every reference there is a page fault. So based on this we can calculate the effective access time as 1 minus P into memory access plus P into page fault overhead plus swap page out overhead plus swap page in overhead. So this is the effective access time. So let us look into one of the example that is calculating the performance of the demand paging. Say for example the memory access time is 200 nanosecond per instruction. Average page fault service time is 8 millisecond, and this is how we can calculate. We had this formula already, 1 minus P into 200 is the memory access time plus P into 8 milliseconds. So 8 milliseconds in the sense this is how we are multiplying it. This is what we are getting. If one access out of the 1000 causes a page fault, that is 1 by 1000 is a page fault rate, that I can say 0.001, then effective access time is 200 plus P is 0.001 because 1 of 1000 1 upon 1000 into 7, this one whatever we have got, right, this results into actually 8199 milliseconds. When you convert into microseconds, that you will get it as 8.199 microseconds. When you approximately, you get it as 8.2 microseconds as the effective access time. This is a slowdown by a factor of 40 here. If we want the performance degradation should be less than 10%, and this is what you are supposed to take care, that the page should be available in memory 25 times divided by how many, these are 1 lakh instructions, right? 25 in 1 lakh instructions, it should cause only 25 page faults to have a performance degradation to be less than 10%. Here it is reduced by 40% of the time, 40 in the above example. So when it was 1 in 1000 instruction is causing a page fault, in order to reduce it, you can make it 25 for 1 million instructions. Yes. Yeah, how to optimize that demand paging is SAP space IO should be faster than the regular file system IO. Copy entire process image to swap space and process load time itself. If it is not available, that memory is not available, then only go for leaving it at the main memory. Then mobile systems usually don't support swapping. Instead, demand page from file system reclaim read-only pages. Yeah, we'll see one more important concept, that is copy on write. So what is copy on write is, it allows both child and parent process to initially share the shared pages. If one of the process is modifying that shared page, then only that copy of the page is created, so that you can sharing of pages done. Initially when they are doing only read activities, then there is no need to create a separate copy. Only when one of the process has modified, then only the pages are copied. So in generally, free pages will be allocated from a pool of 0 fill on demand pages. Yeah, this is the main concept of copy on write. I'll show you one example here. If you have a process 1 and process 2, let us take each of them as one of them is a parent and one of them is a child process. They're initially sharing these 3 pages, which I have named as page A, B, C. Only a single copy of these pages is created. If say process 1 is modifying a page C, after that what will happen is a copy of page C is created for process 1, whereas original is accessed by process 2. So if there is no change as there is no change done by either of the processes on page A and B, so they are shared commonly by both the processes, whereas this has been modified by process 1, so a copy is created for this. So what happens if there is no free frame available for a process? It is used by process pages. Also in demand from the kernel IO buffers, how much to allocate, whether which page replacement has to be used, which page has to be replaced, algorithm, is there any algorithm, whether we should terminate the ongoing process or wait for that, swap out or replace the page, how is the performance. Same page may be brought into memory several times also, which is the victim frame which has to be taken out of the memory, that we'll see now. So for this we are making use of something called as a page replacement, which prevent the over allocation of memory by modifying the page fault service. We are using a modify bit or dirtify to reduce the overhead of page transfer. Only modified pages are returned to the RISC. Page replacement completes separation between logical and physical memory. Larger memory can be provided on a smaller physical memory. So in next class we will see one of the example, few of the algorithms on page replacement. So before that I will just discuss you some terminologies used in a basic page replacement. First thing is, it has to find the location of the desired page on disk, find a pre-frame. We also called as, if there is no pre-frame available, use a page replacement policy using certain algorithms. The one which has to be replaced is called as a victim frame, and write the victim frame to disk if it is dirty. Bring the desired page into the main memory, update the page table and frame table, continue the process by restarting the instruction that has demanded the page, causing the trap. So these are all the basic requirements. So in next lecture we will look into some of the page replacement algorithms. Thank you very much.